Good morning. We had a really nice sleep here in the Pachina Bay campground, and today we are headed to Ucluelet. So the first thing we need to do is hike 5 kilometers from here into the town of Bamfield, and then from there we're taking a float plane up and over the Broken Islands group, and then we will arrive in Ucluelet, where we'll have to do some walking to get to our campsite there. So not exactly sure how much walking total we'll do today, but we're starting off with 5 kilometers. This video is the 4th and final part of a 4-part series that covers mine and my husband Brian's hike from our apartment in downtown Victoria along the west coast of Canada all the way to the iconic surfing town of Tofino. In last week's episode, we hiked and completed the famous West Coast Trail, and in this episode, we make our way from Bamfield all the way to Tofino, which will mark the end of this 258 kilometer or 160 mile through hike through some of Canada's most spectacular wilderness. According to visitbamfield.ca, this region was originally settled by the Ucluelet First Nation peoples. Today, about 300 people live in Bamfield year-round, and residing in the area to date is over 700 nation members. During peak tourism season in the summer, more than 10,000 tourists visit this area from all over the world to enjoy the wilderness and lifestyle. We had some food and a rest at the market there, and now it's time to walk to the marina and get our float plane. Are you excited, Brian?
I'm very excited.
Me too, I'm getting so excited. Well, we probably could have figured out how to connect our hiking route inland to get around the Barkley Sound. We didn't have enough time or desire to do that. Instead, we decided the most exhilarating way to travel across the water here would be by float plane. We set up a charter through Ucluelet River Air Service to take us by float plane between the communities of Bamfield and Ucluelet over the Broken Islands group. The Broken Islands Group, or Broken Group, is a group of small islands and islets in the middle of the Barkley Sound on the west coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. These islands lie within the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve. These islands are a popular destination for kayakers who can paddle amongst the islands and camp within designated camping areas. A national park entry pass and backcountry camping permits are required, which can be reserved through Parks Canada. Even though I grew up on the island, I have never seen the Broken Group, and I was thrilled to be seeing them for the first time. I couldn't believe how beautiful they were from above. I'm thinking I may have to come back one day to do a kayaking trip. After getting dropped off, we walked into Ucluelet, picked up our resupply packages, ate some incredible food, and then set up camp at Ucluelet Campground. Hello, it's day 14 on our hike to Tofino. We woke up here in Ucluelet at the Ucluelet Campground. We headed into Yayu Cafe for breakfast, got smoothies, coffee, brekkie wraps. It is a plant-based cafe. Incredible food. Now we're on the Wild Pacific Trail, which goes along the coast as you leave the town of Ucluelet. It is a great trail, as you can see, really nicely graded. I think quite accessible for many different levels of hiking, which is amazing. The views are comparable to the Juan de Fuca Trail and the West Coast Trail, but the hiking is much smoother. Then we connected our route using the bike path that runs between Ucluelet and Tofino. Made it back to a trail. Feels good. Our goal was to hike along the beach as much as possible. What that sometimes meant is that we had to walk through streams when they reached the ocean. If the stream is shallow enough and not moving too swiftly, we will take off our shoes. The water in the streams was still really cold, so you'll see my facial expressions and movements here as a reflection of that. Sometimes it's so cold it feels like my bones are aching. Tofino is Canada's surfing capital with over 35 kilometers or 22 miles of beaches with year-round surf. Surfers of all skill level can enjoy the area. Tofino surf breaks along sandy shores, making it the perfect place for a beginner surfer to learn. We started to see people out in the water enjoying the swell. I've surfed here quite a few times in my life. One of my first ever trips with a friend in high school was a trip out here to try to learn how to surf together. I started surfing less and less though as I got more into hiking. Long Beach is the largest and longest beach in the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve on the west coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. We made it to Long Beach! The beach is 16 kilometers or 10 miles long. It's so long we aren't even hiking the entire beach today. We are staying at Greenpoint Campground partway along the beach. Okay, we made it to Greenpoint Campground. We're all set up in our tent and it started to rain again. So we're cozy tonight. We are going to go to sleep now and then we have our final day of hiking tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be about 22 kilometers. So I'll see you tomorrow. It's our last day. We're going to be hiking here from Greenpoint Campground all the way to Tofino today. Our initial plan was to try to hike as many of the beaches in the Tofino area as possible. But once we reached the bike path, we decided to just take it all the way into Tofino because of the rain. At this point, we had been on this hike for 15 days and we were so ready for a hot shower, laundry, and more delicious food. We did it! After 15 days and 258 kilometers or 160 miles, we arrived in Tofino. We went straight to the laundromat before checking into the hostel and then heading out for a much-needed celebratory dinner. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you haven't seen the rest of the series, you can go back and watch all 4 episodes now. Huge thanks to everyone who supported us on this hike, from either physically helping us or watching these videos. It means the world to me. Stay tuned for a very exciting return to the Pacific Crest Trail in next week's video. See you then.